Well, good morning. I'm Diana Hull, President of Californians for Population Stabilization. Welcome to our panel on Birthright Citizenship. The participants in this panel are Mark Cromer to my right, Janet Levy, Mark Heffman, Bill Chip, and Edith Hakola. I'll say more about the background of each one of them a little bit later on. But first, I want to tell you a tale from Texas. After walking for 5 days from Mexico and swimming across the river to Laredo, a 7-month pregnant, illegal alien woman was found in the throes of labor on the side of the road by Marisol Cantu. Because he had some medical corps training, he delivered the baby who weighed less than 2 pounds. Then he drove the mother and her newborn child to a hospital in Corpus Christi, Texas. I have no record how long this premature infant stayed there, but at that weight, she likely remained in intensive neonatal care for at least 3 months, hooked up to a respirator and fed by a catheter. At a cost of about $500,000 and as much as $1 million if the infant had other problems. But these expenses are just the beginning of this anchor baby benefits train. In California, about half of all births are to foreign-born, non-citizen women, and 25% of those are illegal alien mothers. Having a citizen child is a major lure to all immigration, and there is a long list of reasons why this should be stopped. But did the 14th Amendment actually establish or even intend to establish that the baby of a Mexican national who swam across the river to give birth on U.S. soil immediately become entitled to every benefit available to children of citizens? Many legal scholars are convinced that the answer is emphatically no. So we are going to hear about solutions and not much about theory today. How initiatives or legislation at the state level or federal legislation can best be designed to fend off the inevitable challenge. Describing the progress of pending or proposed legislation, now in various stages of development, guided the selection of the knowledgeable attorneys on this panel, Mike Heffman, Bill Chip, and Edith Hakola. One of the first books questioning the rationality of the way in which the 14th Amendment has been interpreted was written in 1985 by Peter Schuck and Roger Smith. The fall 1996 Social Contract has a series of articles on this topic that can be found online. The packet in front of you includes a recent paper by political scientist Edward J. Earler, who deals with some of the same issues with a slightly different slant. There is also a website on birthright citizenship developed by Fred Elbow. Not in your packet, but very worth mentioning, is a long paper on the attribution of nationality in other countries by Andrew Grossman, addressing the question of allegiance, jus soli, If you are interested in getting into this topic in depth, this paper has a formidable bibliography. However, right now we are going to make the legal and historical background very easy to take and short, thanks to Mark Cromer's fine video work with another Californian, constitutional scholar, John Eastman. Mark Cromer, to my right, is a CAP Senior Writing Fellow who is responsible for producing a large number of the videos in our collection. He's been a professional journalist for 20 years and is a frequent contributor to the Washington Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Diego Union Tribune. He studied journalism at California State Polytechnic University and the State University of New York at Stony Brook. Mark?
Thank you, Diana. Good morning, and I'd like to introduce this video clip that we shot of Dr. John Eastman. When CAPS began to develop its Birthright Citizenship project earlier this year, we approached Dr. Eastman to help us better illuminate the original intent of the 14th Amendment, the evolution to its current interpretation by our government, and the practice of granting automatic citizenship to virtually anyone who is born here. To say that Dr. Eastman's credentials on constitutional law, and specifically the issue of birthright citizenship, are sterling would be a modest assessment. Dr. Eastman is Dean and Donald P. Kennedy Chair in Law at Chapman University School of Law, where he has specialized in constitutional law and legal history for the past decade. Dr. Eastman is also the director of the Center for Constitutional Jurisprudence, a public interest law firm that he founded in 1999 that is affiliated with the prestigious Claremont Institute. In 2005, Dr. Eastman appeared before the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration and testified on the misinterpretation of the Birthright Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment. During his testimony, Dr. Eastman pointed out to committee members that the 1866 Civil Rights Act, from which the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment was drawn, quote, strongly suggests that Congress did not intend to provide for such a broad and absolute birthright citizenship. Perhaps most central to the original intent of the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment was the concept of a bilateral or consensual granting of citizenship at birth, which cannot by definition exist in today's which cannot by definition exist in relation to today's illegal immigration. Illegal immigrants who have not arrived here with our consent. But given the complexities of the issues, CAPS asked Dr. Eastman to tape a brief overview of the issue, concisely spelling out the scope of the issue, why it's important, what various approaches might be taken to restore the original intent of the 14th Amendment, and what the consequences are going to be if we don't act, and if we don't act now. I think the fundamental challenge that we face in restoring the 14th Amendment to its original intent, and by doing so ending the practice of granting blanket citizenship to the children of millions of illegal immigrants, many of whom cross the border for the express purpose of having their children here, will be to convince the American people that this is indeed a critical issue, and it's a critical issue that threatens their economic future, our environmental future, and their quality of life and the quality of life for their children. The video you're about to see is a template for what we feel will be an effective way to reach out to millions of average Americans, raising their awareness with an expert like Dr. Eastman in a fashion that doesn't bog down in constitutional legalese or minutia. The more concise we can make our message for Main Street America, the greater chance of success that we will have. The web now offers us a viable platform for us to reach millions of Americans with videos like these. The supporters of mass immigration and open borders will undoubtedly attack any effort to restore the 14th Amendment to its original intent. Ironically, they'll attack it as an anti-American effort that targets the children of poor immigrants. They understand that a successful restoration of the 14th Amendment and an end to the wholesale granting of citizenship to the children of illegal immigrants will pose an existential threat to their agenda of remaking the demographic map of the United States through mass immigration and births to immigrants. They will attack it accordingly. So it is absolutely critical that we reach out to the public with a clear and concise message on this issue. one that is easy to understand and potent enough to withstand the onslaught of mudslinging that is sure to greet us from the opposition. Now, without any further ado on my part, here's Dr. Eastman.